Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Thursday. My name is Terry Nguyen. I'm with Dominion Lending Planet Group Mortgages. Jade and I are briefly going to go over some current market conditions concerning COVID-19. I've been with Dominion Lending for about a year now. What about yourself, Jade?
I've been with Remax for about 6 years. It's coming on to 7 years now. So thanks for tuning in, everyone. Let's get started. We have a lot of questions, so we want to make sure we get to all of them. So shall we start with maybe real estate?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, perfect. So the first question that we had for the stats regarding March, we did see a drop in listings, about 10% in March compared to last March. In terms of active listings, it went down 24%. So we've seen a big drop in listings, and I feel like in April it's dropped even more. Coming into the coming months, we're going to see a bigger drop in listings. Mostly the listings that are on the market right now are vacant homes, just because it's easier to show. So a lot of owner-occupied listings have been taken off for the time being until this thing passes. I'm sure it'll go right back on. In terms of sales, we have seen an increase of about 46% in March. But most of these sales came from the first half of March when the market was actually doing really good. And then once the government declared the state of emergency, then sales have dropped as well. So before all this happened, sale prices were actually doing pretty good. We did see a little bit of an increase this year. But of course, with everything going on, I suspect prices will drop or will soften just a little bit. Yeah. So that's about sales. And
so I'm going to go ahead and talk about mortgage deferrals. Unfortunately, with the COVID-19 crisis, it's left many homeowners without jobs or working reduced hours. In order to prevent homeowners from going into arrears, lenders are offering mortgage payments deferral up to 6 months to help ease the financial burden. So it's basically an agreement between you and your lender to pause your mortgage payments. There's also other options like extending your amortization, refinancing to take out a home equity loan, and also negotiating other special arrangements with your lender. It's also important to note that every lender is different. So please contact your lender directly to see if you're eligible for the deferral and to go through your options. It's actually crazy to see that ever since this.
sorry,
should we redo this?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
Where it goes on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's crazy to think that.
So are there any penalties for mortgage deferrals right now?
No, there's no penalties. I think that's the biggest misconception, because people think, like, if I go into deferral, I might have to pay more in interest rates or whatnot. But no, there's no penalties. You still need to repay the amounts that are skipped. That includes both principal and interest. It's actually crazy to think that ever since this epidemic, there's been over 500,000 requests for mortgage deferrals that have been either processed or completed. Yeah. So the numbers keep growing. Just keep in mind, you're not the only one.
Is it all banks across Canada that are allowing for mortgage deferrals right now?
Yes. So most banks are. That's the thing. Every bank differs. So contact them directly.
Okay. And I wanted to ask you a little bit about interest rates. How are interest rates doing these days?
Right. So interest rates are slowly starting to creep back up, despite the Bank of Canada rate drop. The Bank of Canada is currently at 0.25%. Just a month ago, it was at 1.25. We've seen a number of slashes to this rate as a result of the negative shock to our economy. There's many factors, such as this epidemic, obviously, and drop in oil prices. In my opinion, I don't think it's going to get any lower than that. It's already at its lowest. The Bank of Canada 5-year qualifying rate is now at 5.04. Previously, it was at 5.19, and they just changed that a few days ago. Prime lender rate is at 2.45, and that relates to variable loans, of course. So
in other terms, right now is a good time if, you know,
it is. It is.
if you didn't
Yeah.
lose your job, or, you know, you're not too concerned about the fear of losing your job, it's a good time to get pre-approved for financing and start looking.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are your protocols for showings and open houses?
Yeah, so right now we're still continuing showings by appointment basis. We are not doing open houses.
Okay.
It's strongly discouraged for realtors to do open houses, and I completely agree.
Yeah.
What I've been doing instead is I've been doing a lot of virtual open houses through Facebook and Instagram, which you know, gives people an idea of what the home is like. I'm there if, at the site if they want to ask any questions. Um, and then the rest are by appointments only. And right now we have a very strict consent process that we have to go through before we allow for showings. So on the day of, the buyers have to consent that, you know, they're healthy, they're feeling healthy, and everything's good. And a few days prior to that, I actually ask a series of questions to the buyer's realtor, you know, indicating that they are serious and motivated to buy, because at this point we are only doing showings for serious buyers. And only serious buyers want to be looking right now anyways. But I just want to make sure on behalf of my sellers that, you know, they are indeed serious. So that means in terms of financing, they're pre-approved. Maybe they've already sold their home, and they have to buy, and that they're ready and willing to write an offer. So these showings right now are only for serious buyers.
Right. And there are some important changes in the mortgage process. So keep in mind that due to COVID-19, some property inspectors and appraisers are no longer willing to enter into homes. I'm sure you're aware of that. A lot of companies are implementing this policy so they can protect their employees. As a result, most companies are asking for either photos, assessments you may have, building specs, video tours, even curbside viewing, which is a quick drive-by. That being said, lenders are trying to adapt and modify their policies to work around this. So yeah.
I know a lot of realtors right now that are getting virtual tours done for the public, for appraisers, for you know, everyone involved in the buying process. So there's a lot of virtual tours being uploaded for listings right now, and it's just a different, you know, different state that we're in right now. So yeah. So the next question I had is, we kind of already answered this. Is this a good time to be looking? So I would say if you are seriously thinking of buying, if you think your job is secure, you're able to obtain a financing approval, it is a very good time to be looking, because there's a lot of vacant homes on the market. And typically vacant homes, there's a little bit of motivation on behalf of the seller, because the home is just sitting vacant. And typically the ones that are sitting on the market right now have been on the market for a while. So the homeowners are motivated to sell. So right now is a really good time to be looking if you are serious on looking.
Right. Yeah. And do you have any real estate advice to move forward with this?
I would just say hang tight. If you were thinking of buying, but you're not too sure about your job, I would say, you know, readjust your timeline. You know, don't lose sight of it, but maybe, you know, push back your plans a little bit. I know I was looking for investment property this year or next year, and I think I'm gonna have to push that back a little bit. Not losing sight of my goals, but just pushing it back a little bit. Yeah. Do you have any mortgage advice for people,
Mhm.
Terry?
Yeah, you're starting to see that a lot. So I just want to go through a few things. Mortgage turnaround is slower than usual. So along with that, call centers, if you want to get a hold of them, please be
Mhm.
patient. It's unfortunate with this pandemic and how it's playing out. It was unforeseen. So many Canadians are not working and they can't afford not to work. So I highly advise everyone to be informed and to take advantage of what lenders and the government is offering. You know, there's websites such as Canada and CMHC where you can go on. It's very informative and reliable. You know, let's just make the best out of a bad situation and please be mindful. Another question that I want to ask is what have you been doing lately?
What have I been doing? I've been going for a lot of walks with my dog. And every day I have to remind him to not get used to this, that I'm going to return back to work soon. Um, what else have I been doing? I've been cooking a lot, trying new recipes. Um,
Nice.
yeah, so it's been good. It's been a good change of pace. I've been telling everyone I do enjoy this change of pace and much slower. Um, I have meant to give myself more of a break, and now I got one. So
Awesome.
yeah. And
Awesome.
how about you, Terry?
I've just been enjoying the weather. It's been so nice lately.
Yeah,
Also spending quality time with my dog and trying to rack up on my activity log on my iWatch.
yeah,
Uh, yeah. So
yeah. I keep meaning to get a Strava, the app on my phone, just so I can
uh
see where I traveled to. So yeah.
right. Yeah. And
So
this is off by a fun question.
yeah,
Um, so Jade and I, um, we want to know your answers. If money was no object, what would you do all day? So
yeah.
please message us. Let us know your answers. I already know mine. I'm kind of curious what your answer is, Jade.
Um, if money was no object,
Mhm.
like truth be told, I would be just on a beach in
Yeah,
Hawaii.
I'm on the same page.
Yeah, yeah.
A
And
margarita in my hand
yeah,
and Bob Marley playing in the background.
yeah. Can we do that, please?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Right now would be an awesome time to be just laying on a beach with no worries in the world.
Yeah, I get
Yeah. So thanks everyone for tuning in. If you like this, give us some feedback. Ask us any questions that you may have. We can always do this again. With other questions, anything you want us to talk about, we'd be more than happy to. But thanks for tuning in to our first Q&A, and have a good Thursday and have a good rest of your long weekend.
guys. See
Okay,
ya. Happy long weekend.
bye.